Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to join me. In today's video, I'm going to go over the Saturday night game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. In the video, I am going to cover a recap. I'm going to react to it. I'm going to look at offensive and defensive sides for both teams and then give an outlook into next week's games and that matchup. If you guys disagree with any of my takes, drop that down below. I would love to engage with you. If you are new to the channel, if you haven't done it yet for whatever reason, please like and subscribe. I love the support. It means the world to me and it helps me out a ton. It is so greatly appreciated. With that done, let's get into this Relentless rundown. This game featured the top two scoring defenses in the entire NFL. They were both allowing under 18 points per. On a cold night in Buffalo where temperatures felt like they were below 0 degrees with that wind chill, I think many people expected it to be a low-scoring slugfest that was centered around the elite defenses. While one side showed up in this game, it was certainly not to be for New England. The Bills wasted no time cementing their status as the new team to beat in the AFC East, but that was just the beginning of this demolition. For the second time in the last 3 weeks, they absolutely crushed New England. They took it one step further and became the team to beat not just in the AFC, but for me, in the entire league with this dominant victory. They are the Super Bowl favorites. It was clear on a Saturday night that this team wanted to make a statement, and I'm not sure they could have made it any bigger with how they played. Buffalo came out hotter than any team in the Super Bowl era has. They scored on each of their first 7 possessions that did not end in a kneel down. The Patriots came in with a number 2 scoring defense in the league. They gave up over 3 times their average at the end of it. They did not have any answers for what Buffalo was trying to do on the offensive end. From the game's first drive, it was crystal clear that it was going to be a long night for New England, as the Bills took it the length of the field with ease, and they capped it off with an incredible 8-yard touchdown pass to Dawson Knox, in which Allen scrambled away from the defenders. He broke himself free, and he found Knox open in the back of the end zone. When the Patriots were driving and trying to answer on their own opening possession, Mike Hyde had other plans. He made up a ridiculous amount of ground as Jones was trying to beat the Bills over the top. He threw it to Nelson Agholor, but Hyde was able to beat him to the ball. He made a diving interception and saved that touchdown while removing any Patriots momentum that they had garnered. New England would never recover from that. The Bills emphatically answered any questions that I had about them, specifically around stopping the run game themselves while also be able to produce on the ground with anyone outside of Josh Allen. Devin Singletary ran for 2 touchdowns in the first half, and the Bills averaged 6 yards a carry as a team. They had 174 rushing yards themselves. Josh Allen threw 5 touchdown passes. All of them were on play action, which was extremely impressive. He led a Bills offense that had 480 yards of offense on just 51 plays. The Bills had 300 yards of total offense and 19 first downs at halftime as they built a 27-3 lead. They did not have to punt a single time. Josh Allen finished with 308 yards passing. He added 66 yards on the ground, and he completed 21 out of his 25 passes for a QBR of 98.5. He also averaged 11 yards per carry on the ground. He was simply unstoppable. He utilized all of his weapons with 4 different receivers scoring a touchdown and 6 of them averaging over 15 yards per catch. When Josh Allen is playing at this level, the Bills are nearly impossible to beat. Buffalo's defense intercepted rookie Mac Jones twice, and they sacked him 3 times, getting in his head early with that Hyde interception and never relenting on the pressure that they forced. Once they got that big lead early, they took full advantage of it. They never allowed Mac Jones to get comfortable, which was critical for a rookie in his first NFL playoff game. The 2 touchdowns that they did allow were meaningless scores with the game already well in hand, and the way that they played is going to make the rest of the league take notice. The Bills only allowed 89 yards on the ground, and if you take out those 3 long rushes for 44 yards total on the day, they gave up just 45 yards on 17 carries. That is under 3 yards per tote. It was a very difficult game on the ground for New England. By keeping the Patriots from being able to dictate the pace of the game, there was really not much else that they could do. New England's offense, on the other hand, had a quick start, but they could not finish that first drive, and they were unable to get much going after that. Their inability to get points on the board early in this one put them behind the 8 ball, and that was never going to be a case where they could come back from it. It is just not that type of team. As the lead grew, so did the clarity that Mac Jones was not quite ready to take over the mantle for the Patriots. This game and this environment was too much and too soon for the rookie. He finished 24 out of 38 for 232 yards. He had a rating of 75.8, and he ended the year with 7 picks and 7 touchdowns in his last 5 games. The star offensively for New England was Kendrick Bourne. He caught 7 passes for 77 yards and a pair of scores, but it was not nearly enough. The backfield, which consisted of 2 out of PFF's top 10 ranked running backs, combined for just 57 yards, and they averaged less than 3.5 yards per carry. Without that aspect of the offense to lean on, Jones looked overmatched and lost. They were probably never going to be able to survive without solid games from both Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. After doing a solid job forcing pressure through the regular season, the defense in New England was not able to replicate that success in this game. They did not register a sack, and they had only a single hit on Josh Allen all day. The Bills exploited their weakness in the ground game, and they used it to take deep shots downfield for Allen, who capitalized. They were picked apart in this one piece by piece. It was incredible to see a defense that had given up little throughout the entire season to have a full-on implosion before halftime. I was very impressed that the Bills were not only able to stop the running game from New England almost flat out, but that their dominance on offense stemmed from the rushing of Devin Singletary. I have been banging the drum for the Bills to find an option on the ground outside of just Josh Allen, and for the last 6 weeks or so, the Bills finally decided to do just that. It has paid immense dividends for them. Unless Allen comes back down to earth, I do not believe that there is a team left in the NFL that can match what the Bills bring to the table. His dual threat ability gives Buffalo a clear advantage, and that is only magnified when they get the production from the ground running on all cylinders. They are well equipped to protect the lead when they start hot, and they have the firepower to come back if they start slow. Their defense will clearly take on a bigger task next week, but they are prepared to handle it with that elite secondary and a front 7 who looked in sync, determined, and focused. Not surprisingly, this was Bill Belichick's biggest loss as the head coach over his 22-year career in New England. The Patriots are going to be fine next year. I don't think there's any need to panic, but they certainly have some questions that they need to answer about that elite defense that fell apart over the last month of the season. A true number 1 receiver to help out Mac Jones will be a necessary addition as well. Buffalo, on the other hand, find themselves with a chance at redemption in the rematch against Kansas City. They lost the AFC title game last year to the Chiefs 38-24. After seeing both of these teams play over the weekend, I think it is hard not to lean to the Bills, even with an excellent, except in the first quarter, performance from Kansas City. Even in Arrowhead, I think that it's Buffalo's game to lose in what is likely going to be a high-scoring affair. They are absolutely 2 different teams than when they met back in week 5, but that was a game that the Bills won easily 38-20. I have a feeling that this one comes down to the last possession, but after going 6 for 6 in my opening round playoffs, I have some confidence in taking the Bills 34-31. I just feel like it is their year and it is their time to overtake Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And that is all I have for you guys in this Relentless rundown. I really hope you enjoyed the content and you learned something as well. If you have any questions, if you disagree with anything I was talking about, drop that down below. I would love to engage with you. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Your support means so very much to me. It helps me out a ton on my journey to get my first 200 subscribers. This is Relentless Press, I'm your host, Abraham Opat, and we'll see you next time.